So many people look at you and they think, oh my goodness, this man, he's accomplished so much, he's been so successful, he's 86 years old, and he's still going strong.
I love it.
So so what's the secret?
The secret is
Warren Buffett is arguably one of the most famous billionaires and the greatest stock investment expert in the world. His fortune is estimated at $118 billion, and he occupies the 5th place in the list of the richest people on the planet. In today's episode, we would like to share his golden rules of wealth. With that said, let's get into it. Number 1. Believe in yourself. There is no sense in talking about wealth without a strong belief in one's own strength. Basically, this is what should make your world go around. From a very young age, Warren Buffett got a job as a delivery boy for the Washington Post and earned $175 a month. Inspired by the first income, he gathered all his family members at home and told them the following. If he did not become a millionaire by the age of 30, he would jump off the roof of the tallest building in his hometown of Omaha. His close people only laughed at his initiative and noted that by this age, Warren would be better off growing up and becoming wiser. Not quite the reaction Buffett expected, though he did not give up and earned his first million by the age of 31. 2. Don't store money under your mattress. Earning money without investing your profit anywhere? Mr. Buffett does not approve of your choice. According to Warren, if a person wants to get rich and ensure oneself a carefree old age in the future, he cannot store cash under the mattress and just wait for a miracle to happen. Capital cannot be accumulated without investments. From the age of 6, Buffett began to take on any job he could get. He sold chewing gum, Coca-Cola, golf balls, collectible stamps, and even polished cars. He invested the money he earned in companies' shares, and by the time he graduated from college, he had saved up $9,800. That is more than $100,000, taking into account today's inflation. The mentioned bit was a vivid example of how profitable it is not to postpone income, but rather to invest in something that interests you as soon as possible. And even better, how about an investment in your own potential? Even the smallest amount can be turned into a large capital over the time. Number 3. Be patient and you will be rewarded. At the age of 11, Warren Buffett decided to engage in stock market speculation. Together with his older sister Doris, he borrowed money from his father and bought 3 preferred shares of the City Service Company for $38. Soon their price fell to $27 and then rose to $40. At this point, Buffett decided to sell the stock to nail in the profit and earn $5 less commission. But just a couple of days later, the price of City Service soared to $200 per share. Buffett still remembers the mistake he made back then and is grateful of life teaching him a valuable lesson that day. Those who observe patience will be given their reward in the end. Since then, Buffett always looks at the future and does not allow emotions to take control over mind. Nevertheless, Warren's advice sounds simple, but is very accurate in practice. If you are not willing to own a stock for 10 years, do not even think about owning it for 10 minutes. 4. Thoroughly control your expenses. Despite the fact that Buffett has more than $100 billion in his bank account, he is as frugal as possible and lives a much simpler life than he could afford. Warren still lives in a house he bought back in 1957 for $31,500. At the same time, he drives his own modest car so as not to spend money on a personal driver. Moreover, Buffett is no fan of expensive restaurants, therefore he eats regular hamburgers from McDonald's almost on a daily basis. The man is not ashamed of his prudence and even ironizes it in his own way. The word frugal is written on the license plate of his car instead of the standard numbers. Do not perceive our message as a call to completely copy Buffett's lifestyle and necessarily limit oneself in everything, but still, assess your income and expenses soberly, spending money only on what is truly necessary. Live not with the power of emotions, but with the power of mind instead. This is the key to building wealth. 5. Always be ready for crisis. Once, Buffett plastered the walls of his house with newspapers, which included screaming headlines about the biggest stock market crashes. They served as a reminder, both in business and in life, one should always be ready for the worst-case scenarios. If you always take into account the possibility of crisis and other various losses, you will be able to take care of money even more wisely. Remove unnecessary expenses, take no debts you cannot handle, and you will not get into questionable deals and partnerships. By the way, believe it or not, but it was Buffett who predicted the global financial crisis of 2008. And even back in 2019, Warren warned shareholders about the impending mega disaster, preparing his insurance companies for the consequences of COVID-19 pandemic and time. Being one step ahead of any possible threats means to provide the best protection for yourself and your money. Number 6. Be communicative. The times when Warren Buffett was a very shy guy who was afraid to speak in public are in the distant past. Though, keep in mind, the talented businessman has done a lot of hard work to overcome his fears. Being 21 years old, he held his first seminar at the University of Nebraska, devoted to investment principles. Interestingly enough, Buffett spoke in front of students whose average age was twice his own. Warren was terribly nervous at first, but revealed his communication skills and leadership qualities later on. After a while, he was offered the position of an analyst in a small company, where he had worked for 2 years. During his spell, Buffett gained experience in stock market operations and soon felt he was ready to start a big business. Previously, performances in front of large halls scared me a lot, but without good communication skills, you won't be able to convince people to follow you, even if you see a mountain and they don't, the entrepreneur claims. 7. Don't be afraid of standing out against crowds. Still, with all the advantages of being on a social radar, Buffett always repeats, a person who wants to get rich should never listen to the opinion of the majority and trust only himself instead. Once, Warren bought shares of American Express, while all analysts thought the company would eventually collapse. Buffett did so as he saw with his very eyes how people keep using American Express cards to make purchases. He thought that the gain was worth the effort, and the risk paid off well, and he was right, unlike the skeptics. The biggest successes with money happen during sudden, drastic actions that no one but you expects. To put it clearer, sometimes it is necessary to be able to ignore media predictions and trends. Number 8. Don't stop learning. Buffett starts his day by reading a newspaper or a book. For Warren, it is a must to always receive up-to-date information and find out about new methods and technologies in order to make the right and progressive decisions in business. If you refuse to receive new knowledge and stop studying, sooner or later your knowledge and approaches will become obsolete. If you no longer become a leader in a niche you intend to occupy and will not be able to reach the desired profit. We live in the age of huge flows of information and technologies, so staying afloat is possible only with constant knowledge updates. Following Buffett's recommendations, you will never feel too old to get to know something new. 9. Don't forget about generosity. Sure, under the influence of big money, there is always a temptation to focus on your needs only, but Warren Buffett urges us to never forget about others. Since 2006, he has been continuously donating shares of the holding company Berkshire Hathaway, in which he operates as the chairman of the board of directors, to charity. On top of that, the billionaire promised to donate 99% of his fortune to the needy during his lifetime or after his death. Buffett is convinced if you are in the luckiest 1% of humanity, you owe it to the rest of humanity to think about the other 99%. Guys, we highly recommend Benjamin Franklin's no less important and captivating rules of wealth. A link to the video is right in front of you. Well, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and we wish you great profit and success in your future endeavors. Bye.